Welcome to another RaiderPower.com mailbag. I'm Jared Johnson, and I'm joined once again by Joe Yeager. Joe, how we doing today, man?
Well, hanging in there pretty good. How you doing?
I'm all right. Once again, another great round of questions. We're going to dive right into them. LB Mans, I hope that's what you were going for there. Wanted to ask, with TCU and SMU committed to serving beer at the football games, is Tech considering that? Well, Joe, first of all, do you think that would be a good idea?
Well, certainly hope they're considering it. No, that has nothing to do with it. My personal opinion. I don't think it's, necessarily a bad thing. I have not heard. This is not like Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia
Right.
or Oakland or Cleveland or someplace like that. There's people already bringing flasks in and stuff like that. So the people who want to get liquored up are going to be liquored up anyway. So, I don't think it's really going to cause any problems. So I'm not necessarily against it. Do I think it'll happen? I think if the athletic department decides that it'll make a lot of money, that it'll happen eventually. Not this year, maybe 2-3 years down the road. But Cliff, since he's been here, has changed up the culture of the game day quite a bit, and that hasn't hurt the attendance or anything like that. So, if they're going to change it up some more, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, I have to agree. I haven't heard anything about them considering, or at least that being imminent. But I think anything where they could possibly make money, for the university and the program, and however that would all be divvied up. But I think they're going to look into it. They're going to have to consider it. Red Raider 28. All right, I'm just going to read you exactly what he said. He said that he's going to give us a starting lineup for the defense for 2014 for the next few weeks. He wants us to rate each projection in those starting lines on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being a great pick, 4 being agreeable, 3 being I'd have to see more to believe it, 2 being need some explaining, and 1 being I don't think so. So let's start with the defensive line. He picked Brandon Jackson, Rika Levy, and Marcus Smith. Yes. So what do you think about that starting D-line? Does that sound about right to you?
Well, I'm assuming we're talking about opening week.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the way I took it.
That's the way I took it. And outside of Jackson, I don't see that happening. Not in the first week, anyway. Yeah. Particularly with Marcus Smith, he's a JUCO coming in, and he's going to be. If you got him at DT, that's the same spot as Keelan McElrath, another JUCO who's already got a spring in. So I certainly don't see Smith being able to jump over McElrath, and I forget who it is they've got starting there. But Alston, yeah. Demetrius Alston. So Levy, maybe later on in the year, but you got again a couple of veterans there, in Jackson Richards and Dante Phillips, who look really, really good. Yeah. So now Jarrett may feel differently, but I'm not ready to throw Rika in there the very first week.
Well, on this is kind of off topic, but I saw on Twitter Rika Levy's number is going to be 99, which is pretty sweet. So I don't know. I haven't seen him in person hit. So, and take on blocks. Obviously, I've seen the film, but I think you'll see Levy starting soon. But we'll see. Marcus Smith, I really have no idea. I thought he looked pretty good, like a pretty good prospect on film, but I do not expect him to start opening day for sure. So on the scale of 1 to 5, Joe, what would you give the defensive line?
Defensive line, sorry, number 28. They got to give you a 2 on that one.
Yeah, I think I'm saying a 2 as well, because I think we're being nice. Just because I'm only seeing 1 for sure starter there, maybe 2. So now moving on to linebackers, he has Austin Stewart at Raider, Dakota Allen at Mike, Slug, Samuel Guavin at Will, and Pete Robertson at Bandit. Well, what do you think of that?
Again, you taking some flyers on that one. Yeah. But I will say in your defense that I think probably linebacker is definitely the most unsettled unit on the defense. There's a little bit of turbulence and turmoil there. You could see some strange things happen. I think the only 2 guys that are guaranteed to start are Sam Iguaban and Pete Robertson.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it's a little bit of a crapshoot. But as far as the freshmen coming in, true freshmen coming in and starting at Mike, I kind of doubt you're going to see that. I think if anything, the Raider position with Kenny Williams and Austin Stewart is a little bit of a question where you might see a freshman come in and make an impact. So EJ probably going to start at least the first week there at Mike. And then, Stewart, Kenny Williams, I don't think anybody's completely comfortable with either one of those guys, to be perfectly honest, at Raider. But one of those guys is probably going to start.
Yeah.
All right.
I totally agree. So what's the number you're going to give on that?
Say 2.5.
All right. Yeah, I'll give it a 3. Like you said, Slug and Pete, they're going to start. Dakota Allen won't start. Austin Stewart, he might start. He'd probably be my odds-on favorite. I know that Kenny was coming out of post-spring, was slotted as the starter, but I don't know. I see Austin Stewart probably starting opening day. Moving on to defensive backs, he has Justice Nelson, another freshman, and Peyton Hendricks at free safety, J.J. Gaines at strong safety, and Ladarius Newbold at the other corner, which would be the field quarter, because Justice will probably be at the boundary corner. So, what's your rating with the DBs?
Yeah, I think that's better. Definitely better.
Yeah.
Nelson is going to start. Gaines is going to start, assuming he's healthy. Newbold is either him or DePaul, at the other corner position, most likely. And I really like Peyton Hendricks. Really, really do. I mean, but I honestly don't think he's going to. It's just so rare for a true freshman to come in and start opening week.
You don't want your true freshman to come in and start.
No, really not. And Keenan Ward's probably going to be your starter right there. Yeah. So, but that's a pretty good projection. I can give that a 4.
Yeah, I'm the same way. 4. Newbold is as good a guess as anybody, like you said. But I think Ward's going to start instead of Hendricks. All right. Great question, though. We love that kind of stuff. Welker wants to know when the uniforms will get unveiled. Well, I know last year they kind of broke it up. Of course they did the what was that? The Lone Survivor deal. Later in the season, of course they unveiled it that week. They play it pretty close to the vest, Under Armour and Tech. So I could see it slowly being unveiled. Some of it will be maybe on media day, on early August. Probably a good idea, or a good shot. But I haven't heard anything. They haven't said anything. They won't tell us this is the day it's going to be unveiled. It's not like that. Honestly, they may not even know. Maybe they do. I'm not sure. But as soon as we find out about the uniforms, we'll tell you all about it, and have pictures and hopefully video and everything. All right. See, NC All Red wants to know what will happen with Bethel's scholarship. What are the possibilities? Can it be used for an extra with the 2015 class? Kind of like a midterm enrollee gray shirt, or is it more likely to be given to a current walk-on, or a late JUCO offer for the 2014 class? Honestly, I would like to see them use it for the 2015 class, because I know that Stidham and Fehoko are both expected to be midterm enrollees. So there's, obviously there's 1 or 2 there that you can use. I know I'm not saying that Tyron Johnson is going to sign with Texas Tech, but he's had him high. I heard that he wants to be a midterm enrollee. So, and there'll be other ones. So, I mean, and Tech could use the talent. They could use, 25 plus. So, I would like to see that, but I don't know. There's some good walk-ons that might warrant that scholarship too. So, as you pointed out, there are a lot of things they could do. I don't think it will be a late JUCO addition to the 2014 class, though. Do you have an opinion on that, or?
No, I just agree with you. How's that?
All right, I can't believe it. I'm shocked. All right, this says Tennis Wong. He says he wants to know, with Webb shaping up to be a stud, which he is, and operating on the assumption that Mahomes will be a quality backup, What are the chances we see Stidham redshirt and Webb declaring for the draft after the 2015 season? How does that compare with the idea of Stidham competing immediately for the starting job? Which scenario would we prefer, and why? What about you, Joe?
Complicated. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree about Webb being all that, and I think definitely the guy looks like a pro prospect to me, and I could certainly see him going out after 2015. I wouldn't be shocked at all if that happens. As far as Stidham goes, and I agree with Mahomes, he's got quality backup and eventually could easily be a starter someday. Now Stidham, the thing is about redshirting him, I think it might be a good idea, but with guys that come in with that much hype and really that much talent, they don't come into redshirt very often. I mean, those guys in a position like quarterback where you can make an impact if you've got the stuff upstairs, you're probably going to be wanting to play immediately, and I figure that's probably what's going to happen with Stidham.
Yeah, well, he brings up a good point, though. And best case scenario is that Webb dominates, and I know that they were saying around spring practice that if Webb doesn't go after 3 years, then Kingsbury City wasn't doing his job. And I can see what he's saying there, because he does have all the tools. Webb does have all the tools to go on to the next level. The interesting part would be that, all three of them being on campus for one season. And like you said, the idea of Stidham redshirting, coming in that touted, is hard to imagine. But I know a lot of people are talking about Stidham coming in and like possibly supplanting or competing for the job. Now, of course, everybody wants to say the right thing, but if Webb has the year that we're all expecting him to in 2014, I find that really hard to believe that Mahomes or Stidham could supplant him for that third year. But I could see him going on to the draft after the 2015 season, and then a great competition between Mahomes and Stidham. I think that would be really interesting.
I expect Webb to be a Heisman candidate in 2015. Yep. If that's the case, no freshman, I don't care how good he is going to come in and start.